Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is May 5th, 2025, and today we're going to be talking about Dani Olmo's statements in the pre-match press conference and why he doesn't think that double or even triple marking Lamine Yamal is a problem. Also, I'm going to tell you why Barcelona are the kings of the remontadas or the comebacks. And finally, Barcelona are interested in a Mallorca youngster called Marc Domenech. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I'm officially back. As you can see, I'm back home after 8 days of being away. Today I did do the podcast, which was absolutely amazing because as I always say, I love podcast days because of course I get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section. So if you haven't seen the podcast yet, make sure you do. It was a little bit long, but that's how much I missed you guys. So definitely check the podcast out. Now, so let's start with the news because tomorrow is the big day as Barcelona are set to face off against Inter Milan in the second leg of the Champions League semifinal in San Siro, where it will all be decided after Barcelona drew with Inter Milan 3-3 at Luis Companys Stadium. So tomorrow is do or die for our team who have to win in order to make it to the final. Now, as I said during the podcast, I'm feeling very confident about tomorrow's match because as we saw during the first leg, we have a team that's capable of competing with Inter Milan. I think Barcelona were superior to Inter Milan during the first leg, but unfortunately, some defensive mistakes did cost us some goals. So if Barcelona can't fix those mistakes, I think we can have a better result in Milan, especially since, our Inter Milan are the best defensive team in Europe, and yet Barcelona were able to score 3 goals, which could have been way more because we did hit the post twice. We had some clear chances that we missed. So I think Barcelona are capable of unlocking Inter Milan's defense and score goals, but it's all about improving the defense so they don't cause us damage in the counterattack. So I am feeling confident, but of course, anything can happen. The best team doesn't, or the better team doesn't always win, but hopefully tomorrow Barcelona will win. Now, during the pre-match press conference, Dani Olmo was asked about what if Inter Milan double, maybe even triple mark Lamine Yamal. Would that be a problem? Because, of course, Lamine is our most talented player, the biggest difference-making player on our team. And this is what Dani Olmo had to say. We all know the type of the player he is. It doesn't even surprise me. Since the Euros, he's been calm and very motivated. Double marking, that means there'll be a free player. And he's already shown he can play against 1, 2, and 3. That way, there'll be more free players. No problems. Now, I 100% agree with Dani Olmo. In fact, I mentioned this in the podcast today when someone asked me what happens if Inter Milan double or triple mark Lamine Yamal. I said, first of all, I don't think it's a problem because they were double and triple marking him during the first leg. And Lamine Yamal is so good, he still found a way to dribble past the players. And even if it does work, even if double or triple marking Lamine does work and shuts down Lamine, this is the difference of having, or the importance of having someone as good as Lamine Yamal, where even if he's not doing what he can do because he's being double, triple marked, that means that there are players who they're going to be free. Frankie de Jong, Pedri, Ferran Torres, Lewandowski if he comes off the bench, Rafinha. Because if you have to double, triple mark Lamine, that means you have to pull defenders away from other marks. So that would leave other Barcelona players free. So either way, it's a win-win. So it's not a problem. And that's what Dani Olmo had to say. Now, as far as Flick during the pre-match press conference, of course, he was asked about who's going to play in place of Balde and Koundé because both of them are injured. And he said that we do have options like Eric Garcia, Ronald Araujo, Gerard Martin. Of course, the question is, which is a question I posed during the podcast, who do you think will start in tomorrow's 4? Inigo and Pau, of course, they will, but will be the fullbacks? Gerard Martin, Eric Garcia, Araujo, maybe even Inigo ends up playing as a fullback. Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, another reason why I am very confident for tomorrow is because, of course, Barcelona have shown a resilience during the season where even when they are down, even when they get scored on, these players are unfazed. They continue playing the way they know how to play. They continue fighting. They have that fighting spirit, that winning mentality where it doesn't matter what happens. The team doesn't fall apart. Instead, They continue playing, pushing, fighting, and eventually they get comebacks. And in fact, this season alone, Barcelona have gotten or completed 8 comebacks. Yes, you heard that correctly. Barcelona have completed 8 comebacks, 5 in La Liga, 1 in the Spanish Super Cup, 1 in the Champions League, and 1 in the Copa del Rey. And it all started at the beginning of the season where Barcelona were down 1-0 against Valencia, but a double from Robert Lewandowski completed Barcelona's comeback and won 1-2. Then against Rayo Vallecano, Barcelona again were down 1-0, and then goals from Pedri and Dani Olmo gave Barcelona the victory 1-2. Then came the Spanish Super Cup final where Barcelona were down 0-1 with goal of Kylian Mbappe, and Barcelona ended up scoring 5 and winning that final 5-2, giving Barcelona their first trophy of the season. Then came the Champions League, where Barcelona sealed their qualification for the round of 16 with an incredible comeback in Lisbon against Benfica, winning 4-5 after being down 1-3. Then in La Liga against Atletico Madrid, Barcelona were losing 2-0. They ended up mounting a comeback and winning 2-4. Then there was most recently Celta Vigo, where Barcelona were down 1-3, ended up winning 4-3. And then there was, of course, the Copa del Rey final, the second final against Real Madrid during the season, where Barcelona were down 1-2, ended up winning 3-2 for Barcelona's second trophy during the season. And finally, Real Valladolid this past weekend, where Barcelona were down 1-0, ended up winning 1-2. And that completes 8 comebacks that Barcelona have been able to pull off during this season, giving them all victories. Of course, if you count technically Inter Milan, where we were down 0-2 and we ended up 3-3, I guess that would be 9, but I'm only counting the comebacks where Barcelona ended up winning. So 8 comebacks, making the Barcelona the king of comebacks this season. And again, this just speaks volumes of the resilience and the strength, mental strength and spirit strength of this team. And that's another reason why I am confident going into tomorrow's match. Now, going into, let's talk about other news, because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona are very interested in still tracking Marc Domenech. Now, if you don't know who Marc Domenech is, he's an 18-year-old center forward who currently plays for Mallorca B in the 4th division. He is a rising star in Spain. He has scored 9 goals and 3 assists, and in fact, he's already played several minutes with the first team of Mallorca. And Barcelona have been interested in this player for quite some time. In fact, they did make an offer to Mallorca to try to sign the player, but unfortunately that offer did not go through because Mallorca wanted 1.5 million euros, and Barcelona were not willing to offer that much. And well, now Barcelona have to hurry up because the player has continued to do well. His stock continues to rise, and it could end up having to pay more. Now, the reason why Barcelona could end up having to pay more is because Marc Domenech has a release clause worth 4 million euros, which is negotiable. However, once he enters his 3rd year of contract, he will get an increase in his release clause, which will become 10 million euros, where even if it is negotiable, obviously it's not going to be as much as if you negotiate a 4 million euro release clause. So Barcelona are going to have to hurry up if they want to sign Marc Domenech. And this is a plus, by the way, Marc Domenech just hired a new agent, and it's no other than Pini Zahabi, a really close friend of Jan Laporta, the agent for Robert Lewandowski, and of course the agent for our amazing coach Hansi Flick. So that of course does help Barcelona, but Barcelona need to hurry, otherwise they're going to have to pay way more for this rising star in the Spanish league. And by the way, Dominic would be a signing for Barca Athletic. It wouldn't be a signing for the first team. You know, he's in 4th division. He would have to adapt, grow, get better, and then maybe one day he could be a first team player. Now, let's end this video with the news that Hansi Flick had some words about Dani Rodriguez after the match against Real Valladolid. Of course, Dani Rodriguez had his debut with the first team. He actually started, to the surprise of everybody. Unfortunately, after 30-some minutes, Dani Rodriguez got injured. It's been revealed that he had an acute dislocation of his shoulder, which ended his debut a little bit early, which is unfortunate because I was very, very excited to see him play. I thought he had some pretty good minutes on the field. He was fighting every ball. He was trying to dribble players. He was, you could see that he had something special that this player has on plenty of times displayed while he was with Barca Athletic. In fact, I made a reaction video reacting to his skills. I think he's a talented, skilled player. Of course, playing First Division is a whole different story, and that's why I was very excited to see what he had to offer. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but Hansi Flick did have some encouraging words after the match against Real Valladolid when he said the following: "We have to help him get back on his feet. He's always welcome in our team because he's shown how good he is. We'll train with him and help him improve, and maybe he can be part of our team. He's shown his quality." So Hansi Flick remains impressed with Dani Rodriguez. Of course, Flick has been watching Dani Rodriguez for quite some time with Barca Athletic. That's why he called him up. That's why he gave him the start against Real Valladolid. And it's reported that Dani Rodriguez will participate in the preseason with the first team. Now, whether it's just the training portion or whether he ends up traveling with the team, we don't know yet. But Flick will give Dani Rodriguez the opportunity this summer, and we'll have to wait and see whether he can prove himself and earn a spot on the first team. Anyways, that is all for this video. We'll be uploading another video after this one, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.